What's up, guys? Okay, today is another Genshin Impact video. HuTao has been announced. She's gonna be the
きっとみ
next.
んなまだ頑張っているんで
Hi,
しょ？
Barbara.
だったら私たちも
She's
頑張
gonna
ら
be
な
the
きゃならない。
next announced
そう
character,
だよね。
character banner. So today we're gonna talk about whether you should pull on this banner. All right. Okay, so on the banner you have HuTao, which is the 5-star, and then you have Xiangling, Chongyun, and Sinchue. For the 4 stars, all
いつに
three
なっ
are
たらお
pretty
姉ちゃんみ
useful,
たいに
but I think if you've been playing
姿
for a
が変
while,
わ
you
るん
should
だ
have
ろ
many constellations for them. Let's talk about 4 stars first, alright? Sinchue is a very, very good support DPS, alright? In my mind, I call him a backseat DPS. Mainly, he just presses his Q, and then you just swap him out. So, really, really good, especially at Constellation 6. Chongyun is a burst DPS. It's different from Sinchu.
う。
He
元
comes
気が
in,
ないの？
he does his
私
Q,
が作ったスパ
alright,
イシードリンク飲んでみ
and
て。
then he switches out.
シャキッとするよ。
There's no constant damage from Chongyun compared to Sinchu. Xiangling is about the same as Sinchu, alright, but the ultimate lasts not that long. But for the resonance with HuTao, Pyro Resonance, you get extra attack. So, maybe you want to use Xiangling with her as well. Anyway, we'll talk about team members later. Let's talk about HuTao. Alright, guys, let's talk about HuTao right now. Okay, HuTao has this is the E skill, this is the Q skill. But first, let's talk about her
いつに
stats.
なったらお姉ちゃんみ
Um,
たいに
all
背が
stats
高
are
くな
not
るんだ
confirmed
ろう。
until she is released, but her attack is the lowest in the game, right? Among all characters, right? I think it's about 100. Right? The stats may change depending on when she's released. She also has the highest HP, base HP in the game for any character in the game, right? It's about 15,000.
このままだと
Okay, anyways,
眠くなっちゃ
the
う。
E skill. E skill is a skill where you press E and then she gets the fire element imbued into her attacks, alright? There is an attack bonus, right, based on her max HP. So if you have lower than 50% HP, her attack will increase a lot more. Alright, there is a maximum of 400% base attack. Okay. Okay, Barbara is really noisy. Give me a second. Alright. Anyways, okay, because there is a maximum based on HuTao's base attack. The higher your base attack of HuTao, the more bonus you're gonna get from this, alright, based on max HP. Alright. Charge attacks apply Blood Blossom, so basically it's another extra DPS dot onto enemies that you inflict when you do a charge attack when the E is up. Okay, it is considered elemental skill damage, which means it works well with Crimson Witch because the charges will increase, alright, the counts will increase. So I'm not going to talk about the percentage of it because it's not confirmed, but this skill is her main damage skill. Okay, it's a main damage skill, and you need to control her HP to be below 50% of her max HP. All right, so it takes some skill, and the damage from it is actually quite significant. Okay, the cooldown for this skill is quite long, so basically you press E, and then you gotta wait about 16 seconds. So the damage window that you actually have is about 9 seconds. Okay, so 9 seconds of true DPS from HuTao. What this means is you probably press the E and then you do whatever damage you can, and then you swap her out for something else like a sub DPS. Alright, that's it. The Q is Spirit Soother. Alright, Spirit Soother is like Zhongli out, just that the percentage we're not sure yet, but it's probably a lot lesser than Zhongli's. Right, the AOE is really big. Right, it's really big. Does damage. and then heals based on her HP. Alright? The more enemies you hit, the more you heal. Alright, so basically she has a self-heal going on when she presses Q. Alright? Okay, let us talk about the passive talents. Passive talents, the cooking doesn't really matter. When her E skill ends, alright, and you swap her out for something else, for more DPS, constant DPS, all her allies will have increased crit rate. This is nice, right? This is nice. The only thing is, HuTao herself will not get increased crit rate. So, you know, the main gameplay that they want is you to use HuTao for that bursty 9 seconds of damage and then switch it out. And the main thing now is the third passive skill, which is when her HP is less than 50%, pyro damage is increased by 33%. This is quite big. Paired with a pyro cup, it's a lot of increased pyro damage, alright? And that's the main thing. So you want to ascend her as quickly as possible. So pyro cups go up to 46.6%. So you get about 33 more, 79.6% pyro damage bonus, alright? Artifacts for HuTao. Okay, you want to go for Crimson Witch set. I do not recommend Lava Walkers. You want to have a 4-piece Crimson Witch because you want to do elemental reactions with HuTao, alright? That's her main selling point, and the damage will increase quite a bit, alright? Stats that you want on the flower, fixed HP, that's not going to change. You want to try your best to get crit rate, crit damage on the flower and feather, alright? Because the main stat is, you know, it's not random. You definitely get fixed attack, fixed HP. So crit damage, try and get that on both. Main stat for the sands, HP percent. Okay. Main stat for the goblet, pyro damage, definitely. Main stat for the hat, crit damage percent. Why? Because you want to push her damage as high as possible. All right. The ascension stat that increases when she ascends is crit damage. So you want to stack as much crit damage as you can and have a suitable amount of crit rate to proc this crit damage. So for the highest DPS possible, I recommend crit damage percent on the hat. Right, subsets priority as follows: crit rate, HP percent, crit damage, energy recharge or attack percent, or elemental mastery. Why do I not recommend attack percent? Because her base attack is so low, okay? And attack percent buffs from your artifacts is not going to add a lot. Alright, HP percent is much more important, so focus on that. Alright. Okay, so let's talk about weapons. Okay, HuTao is a character that has a very low, how do I say this? She has a very high damage ceiling, alright? Very high damage ceiling. That means you can get her attack, her damage to be really, really good, provided you have the right stuff for her. But she has a very high entry point, where if you want to make her work, the things that she needs is a lot higher compared to, let's say, Xiao, right? Xiao doesn't need, in this case, a 5-star weapon to be actually strong. You can use a 4-star one, perfectly fine. His damage will still be really, really good. But for HuTao, a 5-star weapon influences her E skill a lot, okay? Because it is based on HuTao's base attack. How is base attack calculated? It is the white number in your character sheet, which in this case for Barbara is 1, 2, 3, alright? Be something that I built, Ningguang. So in this case, the base attack is 778, alright? Or if you want to go something bigger, Xiao's base attack is 838, alright? So attack percentage boost will be based on this number, alright? So you must have a 5-star weapon on HuTao to bring out the best of her E skill, right? Because the higher the base attack, the more this bonus will be. Okay, so the how do I say this? The baseline of HuTao is really, really high compared to other characters in the game. Okay, so mainly for people who spend in the game, alright? Dolphins, whales, whatever, krakens, whatever, you know? If you have good items, good weapons, HuTao will be really strong. Okay? Which is why she has a very high entry point compared to Xiao, another spear user. Okay. Weapons, recommended weapons. Definitely her Staff of Homa, which was built for her. All right, increase max HP, um, and so on. Okay, we'll look through that later. Um, all the 5-star weapons are decent for HuTao. Okay, but Staff of Homa is definitely the best. All right. Decent meaning because they have a high base attack, she can get a bigger boost when her E is up. Okay, I would rank them in this way. The Skyward or the Jade, second and third, because their base attack is really high, 674. And then last would be Vortex. Conditionally, if you have Zhongli or running some other shield, then the Vortex could be decent. Okay, because you have a shield on her, you don't have to worry about HP dropping even further because you want to keep her at 50% HP. Alright. Could be more easy to use with the Vortex because the shield will be stronger, depending. But the attack boosts on Jade or the Vortex Vanquisher is not that important for HuTao. Alright, so the Skyward with the energy recharge might actually help you deal more damage over a longer time because you can spam the Q more. Alright. But definitely the Staff of Homa is the best weapon for her. Otherwise, 4-star weapons, there are nothing that stands out for HuTao. I would suggest the Black Cliff or the Deathmatch. Alright, Black Cliff, it gives you a lesser burden because it gives you crit damage as well. And then the Deathmatch gives you crit rate. Alright, so lesser burden on your artifacts to be really, really good. So these two 4-star weapons I would recommend for HuTao. Anything else really, most of it, they boost attack percentage, which again, because she has a low base attack, not that great. Alright, but you just use whatever if you happen to get HuTao, alright? Okay, team members for HuTao, alright? These are team members that I think will make a great team with HuTao. Okay, Zhongli, Sinchue, Xiangling, Fischl, Ganyu, alright? I don't recommend Chongyun with HuTao because I don't think the skills match that much. You don't want to. I mean, you cannot proc the ice element with Chongyun for HuTao because when you press E, the fire overwhelms everything else, so it'll always be fire. So the elemental reactions you get from Chongyun is not that great unless you, for some reason, are able to spam Chongyun's Q a lot. Okay, best support DPS for HuTao will definitely be Sinchue. Alright, every time you hit something, Sinchue's out will attack and add water on the enemy. So great. You know, you can keep getting vaporized reactions, amazing. Fischl, you can get overloaded. Okay, every time you attack, also really good. Also, the overload reaction will help you try and keep HuTao's HP at a decent level, lower than 50%, because you're able to take damage from your own overloaded reactions, so also nice. Ganyu as a team member, because Ganyu does amazing damage. Okay, so probably she'll be the second DPS in the team, alright? And then when her ult is up, you can do some melt reactions with HuTao. Also decent. And then of course you have Zhongli. Zhongli is probably the best support in the game right now. Alright. just because of his E skill. Alright, the E skill minus resistance is too good. And of course, he provides a shield, so Zhongli is probably the best support for any team at the moment. Alright, what else? Alright, so now we're going into the whale part. Alright, the whale part is the constellations. Constellations, um, for whales, I would suggest going to at least C3 because you want the E skill to be a higher level. Alright, if you don't have constellations, the max is level 10. C3 will probably be the minimum if you're a whale. C1, charge attacks do not consume stamina. Probably this will give you ease of use, alright? Because you want to have charge attacks to proc with your Crimson Witch artifact set, okay? So charge attacks not consuming stamina will make things easier for you to play HuTao. Okay, but it's not such a big deal, right? It's not something you want to whale for. Second constellation, C2, not much of a big difference there, so I'm not gonna touch on that. Alright. 10% of HuTao's max HP. I would imagine max HP of HuTao with a good decent set will be about 40 to 45,000 HP. So 10% will be about 4,005. This will actually help your charge attack damage increase because you apply Blood Blossom effects. Okay. C2, I would think C2 is a difference in the gameplay. Okay. It's not that much of a big difference compared to C3. But if you're already C2, just go for C3. Might as well, alright? C4. C4, I don't really feel this is a big boost, okay? Because defeating an enemy affected by Blood Blossom, increased crit rate for all allies, nothing to do with her, doesn't really matter that much. Increase C4, C5, level of Spirit Soother by 3, this is increased damage on the Q. You don't really need to talk too much about it. C6 makes HuTao very difficult to die. She becomes super survivable. So if you have the money, you're a big whale, just go for that. C6, and she'll be your main DPS for a huge part of the game. What do I suggest you guys get? C0 is fine, in my opinion. You don't need a constellation for HuTao for her to deal a lot of damage. Alright? Um, okay, so this banner, do I suggest that you guys pull for HuTao? If you don't have a Pyro DPS, a main DPS, then pull for her. Alright? If you don't have a character that deals tons of damage, then you pull for her. I mean, if you have Diluc or you have Klee, you don't really need HuTao that much. Or if you happen to pull a Staff of Homa, then just go for HuTao. You know? Otherwise, don't pull for her. Even though she's waifu, she's very hard to maintain. Is that the right word? To to make HuTao strong, you need amazing stuff, right? Expensive stuff. If you don't have her Staff of Homa, then your damage that she can do is much lower than it should be. Okay? So don't pull for her if you don't have the Staff of Homa. If you happen to have a Jade Spear, the Primordial Spear, and you want to use it on HuTao because Xiao Banner is gone, you still can do it, but the damage returns you get from HuTao is not as high compared to if you have the Staff of Homa. Alright? So all in all, the upkeep of HuTao as a character is a lot higher than any 5-star in the game. Alright? You need very, very, very good stuff for HuTao to be at max potential. And because of that, you need to consider very deeply whether you want to get HuTao, right? I get that, she's a waifu, you want to get her, But if you don't have the resources to make her strong, then you might as well wait for a better character that's more worth it for your account to make your account stronger than HuTao. Alright? Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Um, Let me know in the comments what else you want to see, what kind of videos you want to see, and like the video. If you like the video, sub to the channel. I'm gonna make more Genshin Impact videos in the future. All right, guys, I'm out. See ya.